Today I'm going to do a quick video on waxing art journal pages. Now, waxing art journal pages is not my new idea. In fact, it's something that I am just beginning to do. Previously, I've been art journaling for several years, and to be honest with you, I really have not waxed my art journal pages. I had a series of videos several years ago when I first started about sticky art journal pages, where I went in and I tried several different types of sealers. What chases me away with waxing the pages is if you're not done, you cannot write over the wax very easily. Now, I do think since then I've discovered the fine line paint applicators, and I find that if I write with my fine line paint applicator, or draw with it or sketch with it, that will go over a light layer of wax. But I don't do that often. However, lately, since I've been doing these glue books, and I just have a little elastic here, I do use a wet glue in my glue book. And on this one, I used Mod Podge. Now, I use Mod Podge for paper, and I don't find the pages sticking a lot. I mean, you can see I can flip through here pretty easily, but there are a few right in here. This book has been under a stack of other books. So, evidently, there are some pages here where the glue is seeping through probably my gluing, and it is gently sticking together. So I've decided that I'm going to go in and wax these pages. I have put several links in the description box below. Shannon Green has a playlist on using Daddy Van's, and of course she uses and recommends Daddy Van's furniture polish because it's all natural to wax the art journal pages. Kelly Doniphan has 3 or 4 videos. I chose one on how to wax your art or art journal pages. Claudia Rossi at Krazy Island Family also has a video on waxing your art journal pages. So this is nothing new. So I know that you can get Daddy Van's in several local stores in larger cities. However, I cannot find it in my area, and I know you can order it online, but to be honest with you, I do not do a lot of online ordering. I like to buy my product retail when I can. Not only does it support my local retail shop, whether it's a large or small, but I like to get product in my hands before I buy it. I went to we have a Big G store, which is like a Ace True Value store in our area, and I was asking for Daddy Van's, and they did not have that product, but the salesman recommended this. This is a feed and wax, Howard's Feed and Wax. It's an all-natural beeswax with orange oil. And I would guess that it's probably along the similar lines of Daddy Van's. I have not used Daddy Van's, so I cannot recommend it or speak to it. Several of my artistic friends use it and recommend it highly, and that's what they use. So this is what I'm using. I'm happy with this. I find that it keeps my pages from sticking together. So I'm just going to do a few pages here. I'm not going to go into a lot of pages. I'm going to go to the ones that I know are sticking, and that's right here in the center. This one, did you hear that crunch? And I put this, you do not need a lot. I just kind of dot it on there. And I use my hands. And to me, that's the best buffer around. You want to work your wax into your art journal page. You want it to seep into, for lack of a better term, the pores of the page. You want the fibers to drink it up as much as it can. Now, if you've sealed your page with glue, and if it has, I did not seal these pages. These pages do not have a sealant on them, as, you know, just taking and doing a Mod Podge or a matte gel or something over the top of them, what is causing them to stick, and they don't stick generally. It's just that the glue that I used is in some, probably at the edges, has seeped out and is sticking together. Now you can see I have a good generous amount of wax on this. Probably so much that I can probably go over to the next page and rub a little on it too, and still have a waxy surface. And I have really got just those dabs of glue that I put on there. I have a lot, and I'm just working it in. I like to use my fingers because I can feel where I'm getting in the nooks and crannies here. When you use a paintbrush or another tool you're getting there, but the brush is doing the work for you. Now I would say yes, that brushes can probably get into nooks and crannies where the hands can't, and that's just your choice. I don't have that concern on these pages. I might on another page where I might resort to a brush. After you get it worked in there really good, then take a soft towel, and this is the one I've been using, and then you buff it. And buffing it just lends a little bit of a shine to the page. It just like buffing your shoes. If you polish your shoes with a shoe wax, after you work that wax into your shoe, then you use a brush or a soft towel and you buff it, and it gets the excess off, but it also adds a nice shine to your and I want to say it isn't a glow shine, it's a I don't want to say satin, but I can tell that this has been waxed just by the feel of it with part of my hand that doesn't have wax on it. I can tell that this page has been waxed, and it probably will not stick forever. No, I wouldn't say forever. I do think that there is, although I haven't experienced it yet because I've just started waxing art journal pages, but I think after a time, some of these pages, especially when you have a lot of paint and sticky medium on it, do need to be re-waxed over time. Now, another thing to consider when you're waxing an art journal page, this is a glue book. But if I were to apply, I do not use a heat gun on this. Now, this was pointed out by Jenny Belly, and I took note of it, so I want to give it credit to Jenny Belly for this observation. If you're waxing an art journal page, even if you're done writing on it and you say, this is done, I'm never going to attach it, I'm never going to touch it again, I'm finished, if I do one more thing to it, I'll eat it. But even if you do that and you're done with this page, if you're working on the next page, and possibly even the page here, or over here, or over here, and if you apply heat to this page, say you've got a wet media here and you're using your heat gun to dry off the wet media on this page, be aware you have wax over here. If these two pages are together and these two pages have a good coating of wax on them, and you use a heat gun, you risk melting those two pages together just with the wax. Now, not saying that it's going to happen. It may not happen to you, but there's the good chance that it will too. So it's just something to be aware of. Once I wax, first of all, I do not intend and will probably never wax an art journal page or even anything in my art journal until I'm completely done with the art journal.
Take a look at the following before and after images on a page in my glue book that I just finished waxing. I noticed this as I was editing this video and think it is worth pointing out. Be aware of the effect the wax application can have on uncoated papers or images. Note the way the wax altered the image. Just something to consider. Personally, I don't mind this, but it could be a consideration if you have images you don't want this to happen to. Be aware of the effect of applying wax to an image printed on uncoated paper. Here, the wax soaked in and changed the appearance of the image. Things to consider before waxing an art journal page. It may be difficult to journal or write on the page after waxing a page. Applying heat via a heat tool on previous or subsequent pages might weld two wax pages together. The wax may alter a visual image if it is not sealed. Pages that are waxed to prevent sticking may need a refreshed application after a period of time. Waxing a page is only going to be as effective as the application of the wax layer. A spotty or too light of an application may not be effective.
Be aware, if you're an art journaler, what the limitations are when you do something like this and why you're doing it. So these two pages should not stick in for a good long while. I will think that eventually this wax will dry and it may need another coat. So I'm going to go through the rest of my book. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'm going to go through the rest of my book and wax these pages. So I am using what I found retail, Howard's Feed and Wax Wood Polish and Conditioner Beeswax. This is a natural product. It does have orange oil in it, and when I sniff my hands after I apply it, I do smell like an orange smell to it. I don't mind that. I find that when I use craft paint on pages, and I do not use it in this journal, but I find that when I use a lot of craft paint in my art journal, they have that distinct craft paint odor to them. Just as if you were walking into a print shop and you smell a definite ink odor. But this wax with the orange oil really does eliminate that odor. So that's all I had for today. I'm going to finish waxing my art journal. I'm doing this at the request of one of my viewers who several weeks ago asked how I waxed my pages. And I've been wanting to do the video, and I've been doing all this wonderful things in art journaling, and I've got to go back out and do this. Again, do a YouTube search on waxing art journal pages. I put a few links in the description box below, but there's a lot of information on YouTube. Google it. There's a lot of information out there. This is nothing new. This is just Meri waxing her glue book. So that said, I'm going to finish waxing my glue book pages, and I will see you on the next page.